What's going on, my babies? Welcome back to another episode of The Spiritual Word. As always, I apologize for any noises in the background in advance and anything of that nature. And I'm sorry if you could hear the fan in the background, but it's summer and it's really freaking hot and there's nothing I can do about that. So you're going to hear my fan. So it's either that or a huge AC. But, anyways, and because where I live, there's no ACs on most of the houses. So all you hear is the swamp coolers. But I apologize for that in advance, like I said. So, also, I apologize for not uploading last week. I know I said that on Monday last week because I had missed Friday, but I just haven't been feeling like posting on the podcast itself. And what I've learned through like making these over and over is that I want these to be quality over quantity. I don't want to post to just post. So if I don't feel like posting, I'm not going to post because I want to give content that's actually really good, like well thought of. And so I was taking the time that whole last week, the time that I didn't post, to think about what I could talk about because I feel like most of the topics that I have on here, they're repeats of itself, which I feel like it's beneficial to repeat yourself. Like I really feel like repetition is the way that people learn, but it's repetitive for me. You know what I mean? So like I remember the majority of the podcasts that I've done in the past year. So what I talk about in this month, it gets a little bit recycled and to me it's a little bit tiring. So I was like, what can I talk about that, doesn't really um what's it called? That doesn't feel repetitive to me. And that will be quality content type of stuff. But also before I start this, I already got into this. Before I start this, I like to start these off with a disclaimer by stating that these are for entertainment purposes only. Always do your own research to come to your own conclusions, to have your own answers, to make your own decisions. And I believe in your ability to do so and to be your own person. And also apologize for the noises in the background in advance. And yeah, so this is a spiritual word. I'm your host, Jackie. Supposedly, I am supposed to upload Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Mountain Time. I'm shuffling cards, so that's what you're going to hear in the background. And I haven't been doing that just because I haven't been feeling it, because I want to make, like I said, quality content, quality over quantity. So I've been trying my best to not get too caught up in posting just to post, because I feel like then my quality is not as good or as good as it could be for myself, which obviously you're going to grow over time of doing something on repeat. So, it is what it is. And then because the way that I record these is different, because I used to record on this podcasting like app on my phone, and now I can't do that. So I have to go through a multitude of different steps now, which in the beginning was kind of like, ugh, I don't want to do that. So it was partially me being lazy and partially not wanting to upload just because I wasn't feeling it. Like I was not feeling it. So yeah, let's get into today's post. And I'm gonna pre-record a bunch of these just because my life is like continuously going through transition after transition. And so, I want to make sure that I actually upload this week. So we're gonna talk about manifestation because that's what I do most of the time on here. And I want to talk about this in a really tangible and grasping, like a way that's really easy for you to grasp. So, manifestation is as easy as knowing that your life is kind of like a dream. If you know it's a dream, you have control over the dream. That's what vivid or lucid dreaming is. And so when you're trying to manifest, just know that you have the ability to do so. That's the easiest way to do anything. Know that you can do it, and it will be something that will come with ease because you will feel confident in that regard. So the real simple methods that I've gotten myself to, like the way that I've gotten myself to actually go through with these certain manifestations is to make them my priority. A lot of the times people don't make their, their dreams or like the things that you want to manifest, you don't make them the forefront of your life because you don't believe that they're real. because you don't believe that they can be real. And when I looked at the timestamp, it was 456. So you have to recognize, and I also want to talk about synchronicities, but that'll be tomorrow's upload. So I'm gonna make this really short, sweet, and simple. You have to prioritize what you're trying to get. What is your manifestation? What are you trying to get? If your manifestation is money, if your manifestation is a career, if your manifestation is a person, if your manifestation is a soulmate, a partner, a best friend, a community, whatever you're trying to get, you have to make that the priority, because that's the way that your life actually works. That's the way that the day works. And so if that means that you're trying to be in shape, then that will be, like going to the gym is going to be the priority for the day. You know what I mean? Like you have to really think about that thing and then go out and do the thing. And a lot of the times you don't necessarily see that as being like a real thing to you because you don't prioritize them, right? Like I always give you guys the Bashar's formula: follow your passion to the highest extent until you can't do it anymore. And the reason that he says that is because you're going to prioritize your fun, you're going to prioritize your needs, quotation mark, above all else. And if your needs are not being met, you're going to meet those needs for yourself. If you need a job, right? Because obviously in this economy, you need a job, right? Like everybody needs something, whether that be food, family, shelter, love, whatever it is, right? And so you're going to prioritize whatever your priorities, quotation marks, are. And a lot of the times, because you don't believe manifestation is the way that the world actually works, all of the things that you want to create, you're not going to create because you don't believe in them in the first place. And so once you get yourself to believe in the thing that you're trying to create, that has to be the priority of the day. And it doesn't mean that you have to constantly be thinking about this and overthinking and just like trying to figure out how you're going to do this thing, because it's not important how you do the thing. The thing itself, doing it, is what's important. So let's say, for example, you're trying to manifest a partner or a person or a girlfriend or a boyfriend, whatever. That means you have to be willing to put yourself out there and be willing to go talk to people if you find them to be something that you're looking for. If you run into a person and they're like, hey, how are you? I hope that you're having a good day. I hope that, the rest of your day goes really well. And you're like, oh my gosh, that person was so sweet. Maybe this is somebody that I can be like with in the long term. You need to be willing to put yourself out there and tell this person and be willing to get rejected and put yourself out there and be like, hey, I just wanted to know if you're single and if I can get your number. It has to be really, really simple. You don't have to overthink. You don't have to sit there and think about a whole life with this person. It doesn't have to be super duper deep like that, although it's good to think about those things. It's not helpful in the moment. And the way that the day actually works, the way that you continuously propel a cycle that you want to see, aka how you manifest, is through prioritizing the things you want to see in the here and now. The only day that you have is right now. The only day you have is today. So on today's agenda, you have to make the here and now already the cycle that you want to see. That's how you manifest. So let's say, for example, you're trying to manifest a career. You have to already be in that cycle so that you believe in that cycle, so that cycle will propel itself. It's kind of like those mills that run off water. It's literally propelling itself. Or if you have ever seen somebody charge a battery from a bike, from pedaling on a bike, you're perpetuating its own motion. Or if you make kinetic energy, it's literally perpetuating itself. Everything is propelling itself. So if you want something, if you are trying to manifest, you have to make it the priority, because here and now is how you manifest. And I don't mean here and now as in like, you don't get another day. It's not like, I'm not trying to be motivational. It's literally how it works, like how your physical life works, how the physical day works. And I said something like, I want to say back in 2022, that I was like, oh yeah, you're right. Like I really need to practice what I preach. And it's that if you want to see your life in some certain way, you need to create that life. And the way that you create that life is through the here and now, because the only day that you have is today. And I don't mean that to be motivational or to make you feel like you're on a time crunch, but you genuinely don't have any other time. Like, when you're manifesting, it's not some future thing, it's a here and now thing. Do you believe that it's actually here and now? Or do you have to see it to believe it? And if you don't have to see it to believe it, that means you're doing something right. Because obviously you know that it's a possibility for you, so you're going to act on it here and now. Which is how a lot of, like, for example, I look up to people who do music so freaking heavily because I have no musical inclination whatsoever. Like, barely have any rhythm. Can't even, sing. Can't sing for shit. Can barely rap. And that's just saying words, So I look up to people that do music so freaking heavily because they are prioritizing their fun. They love to do music. They do it for nothing else but the love of it. So they don't have a voice in the back of their head saying, I can't do this. This is not going to be real. Although people around them might project those ideas onto them. So, be aware of that. But also, they do it. And they do it because it's their here and now. Not because they are trying to manifest it, but because that's just how they function. And some people, they do it for the sake of the manifestations. Like, if you listen to people like Big Sean, which is one of, like, my biggest inspirations, and you could argue that, like, they're not a good person or whatever. I'm not, arguing, but this person literally made music going against the grain of their own life. Like, majority of people who are trying to do something that is against the grain of their life have to prove themselves to themselves against all odds, because this world is going to fill you up with doubt. It's going to fill you up with hate. It's going to fill you up with pain. It's going to fill you up with, I don't believe in myself. I don't believe in the power of creation. I don't believe that this is actually real. This world is full of doubt, full of it. And so you have to go against the grain in order to manifest. But the way that you go against the grain is doing something for the love of it, here and now. Because that is how you manifest. Because the day-to-day cycles that you're trying to get into will only create itself from the here and now. Like, you remember when you were a little kid and you used to play pretend? You used to play pretend that you were a doctor, or that you were bagging groceries, or that you were making food. You were practicing for a future event. And use that to your advantage. That's something that I've been trying out as well. If you are somebody who has to see it to believe it, fake it now. And don't fake it in the sense that it doesn't feel authentic. I mean, fake it in the sense that you know you're faking it. Because at least then you know that you're not lying to yourself. And you won't feel any type of way from faking it. And so just try to fake it. For a little bit. For as long as you can. And just enjoy the process of faking it. Because you know that it's all fake. You know what I mean? Like, there's no one sitting there telling you you're not going to make it. There's no one telling you. Your own brain is not telling you, oh, this is fake. Because you know it's fake. So just have fun. You know what I mean? And then that faking is you actually physically practicing. And the physical world of here and now today is how things manifest. So even if you're just pretending, like, let's say I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh, let's pretend that all this tarot is money, and I'm flexing on all you guys. That's literally practice, and it creates a sense of, like, playful happiness, a playful joy that you don't get from faking something and really not believing that it's yours. A lot of people, they have trouble manifesting because they don't believe that it's real. So pretend. It's that simple. And when you pretend, you have fun because it's not real, but because nothing is. This is a dream. You have to remember that you're dreaming. That's how you become lucid. So the more you fake it, the more real it actually is. You know, when you tell little kids that Santa is real, and it makes them extremely happy, it makes them want to behave so that they get gifts. That might trick the kid into, behaving, but at the end of the day, it creates a sense of joy in the kid. You know what I mean? Like, if you have ever believed in the Tooth Fairy or the freaking Easter Bunny or, any of those things when you were a kid and someone was like, oh, that's not real, that crushing feeling is how you feel probably as an adult and how you feel about manifestation if you don't believe that it's real. But remember that sense of magic that you had when you were a kid, because that sense of hopefulness is how you're going to get things done. And I'm not saying that shit just appears out of thin air, because it doesn't. Your physical reality has to practice what it will look like, and you faking it is practicing that, because the physical reality doesn't know anything other than that. Like, for Christians, Jesus is very fucking real. You know what I mean? And for scientists, science is really fucking real. And for collectively all of us, today is very real. Right? My experience is very real to me. Just like your experience is very real to you. So, sorry about that. So, just fake it till you, that saying, fake it till you make it. Fake it, know that you're faking it. Have fun because you're faking it. And have fun because it's fun to fake it. And have that sense of like playful kid energy. And that will keep the cycle going, because you'll want to do it. Because it's fun for you. It's playing, make believe. We're just playing. This is literally all playing. And if you're somebody who prioritizes work because people tell you that you have to prioritize work, then you will perpetuate that cycle. And that cycle of misery is created through perspective. And obviously your experience is real to you. And you believe all of the things that are real to you because you're experiencing them, right? Because you have collected evidence to prove it to yourself. But, you have to recognize that this is a dream. This is physical reality's dream. Because reality is so much more deep than people actually realize. And for me to have a conscious brain, to have conscious thoughts, to have feelings, if you ever just think about feelings and what feelings are, it's a very deep thing. Like, incomprehensible. Like, I can't comprehend why I have feelings. You know what I mean? You could argue it's because of survival. You could argue all of the science and all the facts to me. But at the end of the day, just think about that. You could argue so much science to me. But at the end of the day, most of that shit is theories. And when you sit back and you think to yourself, what is my idea of what my feelings are? And why do I have those? You're like, damn, that's fucking deep, Because you can't explain that. I can't explain that. So just fake it till you make it, and I don't mean that in like don't believe that you're doing it type of way, but fake it as in like have fun, play, pretend, play make believe. That's what we're here to do. We're here to have fun, have that joy, that sense of like kid innocent joy, and just play, just have fun. And the more you have fun pretending to do the thing that you want to do, the thing that you want to see in your life, the more you're going to do it, the more results you're gonna see, because that's how things work. You know what I mean? Like how people are like, I got here through hard work and dedication. You can have hard work and dedication and still have fun. And having fun will help you have motivation to keep working hard. So how you manifest is through just having fucking fun. It's that simple. It's that easy. And this life is a dream. Remember that this life is a dream. And now one day, right, we die, right? We die. One day you're going to wake up. And you're going to be like, oh, what? That was a dream. So, don't stop yourself. Have fun and enjoy your everyday experience. And if you're not enjoying your everyday experience, find ways to prioritize enjoying your everyday experience, because you only get today. And you don't want to waste 30 years and be like, wow, I'm actually fucking miserable, and have a midlife crisis because I had a quarter life crisis. And that's just not fun. It's just not fun at all. So with that being said, I'm end this here just because I feel like that's enough. Thanks for tuning in and tapping in, my babies. You know that I love you and that I appreciate you. And I hope that this was entertaining in some way, shape, and form. Maybe even insightful for you. Maybe you'll learn something. Fingers crossed. But like I said, these are just for entertainment purposes only. Always do your own research to come to your own conclusions. I'm not saying that I know the fucking formula, especially for your personal day-to-day experience, because I don't. And, if you're struggling in the mental health department, go see a doctor. I am not a doctor. I can't tell you how to live your life, and I will not tell you how to live your life, which is why these are for entertainment purposes only. But, yeah, with that being said, thanks for tuning in and tapping in. You know that I love you, and I appreciate you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.